Hey there and welcome. This is Mary Sheila from BioYouth Labs, and today I am going to share with you 3 everyday superfoods that are wonderful for your memory and your brain all together. And it's great to know that food can certainly be your medicine, and that is a founding principle that we have here at BioYouth Labs, a supplement company. But knowing that it's not just about taking supplements, it's all the things that we do every day that support our whole holistic, vital health. So I'm really excited to share this with you today and lots of other videos just like this that will give you the insight and empower you to make positive change in your life. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications so that you can always see when I drop a video. And please comment and ask your questions, and always ask even if there's any other videos you want me to make that would serve you and answer some of your questions. Okay, so let's get down to it. 3 foods. I'm going to start with the first one, and that is walnuts. Okay, so walnuts have something that we call the doctorate of signature, which means they kind of look like a brain. And while some might say scientifically that doctor of signature is not totally always right, it definitely is the case in the case of walnuts. Now, walnuts have a lot of great fats. We call them EFAs, or essential fatty acids. They have omega-6, omega-3. There's even a little monounsaturated, which is excellent for our brain, considering the brain is 60% fat. They also have great fiber, a little bit of protein, a little bit of carb, a little bit of fat. So it's like the perfect whole food, which is something that nuts and seeds sort of have that's unique to them, is that they have all the macronutrients in them in pretty great amounts. The fiber in the walnut is also really good for the microbiome, which means it's good for the brain in that way. And when we feed ourselves these healthy fats, that goes a long way in supporting the brain, which is 60% fat. Now, I want to tell you something important when it comes to eating walnuts, and that is, and many other nuts and seeds to speak of, is that the fats in them, the EFAs, the essential fatty acids, they are better for us and easier for us to absorb and digest, and they're also not oxidized when they are raw. So raw walnuts is a great way to go. And I'm going to share an even better way to eat them for many of you, myself included. There were many years that I did not eat walnuts because they would give me a canker sore. I would just eat 1 or 2 and I could feel that my body was reacting negatively to it. So I just avoided them for years. And as a nutrition teacher at a college for many years, I had a student that said to me, "Oh, Mary Sheila, I soak mine and sprout them and dehydrate them and I can eat them." And I was like, OMG, I am going to try that. So I did. I tried that, and I soaked them and I sprouted them, and I had a dehydrator at the time, and they were fine and they didn't affect my mouth at all. And I was extremely excited about that because they're delicious and they're a good healthy food. And I think if I ate way too many of them, that might happen. But generally speaking, about a handful is a good amount per day. I'm always a fan of changing it up and not eating the same thing every day. Plus, that diversity is really good for the microbiome. Okay, so the next food that I want to share with you, an everyday superfood for the brain, I feel like this sort of has that same doctorate of signatures, and that is the berry. And this happens to be a beautiful thornless blackberry. That meant when I went to pick it, I didn't have to worry about getting thorns in me at all, which can be pretty intense when you get out there and pick blackberries. So these blackberries are showing their color is just showing their ability to heal and support the microbiome, and also the blood vessels and endothelial layers. All those, they're very rich in flavonoids, and those are very protective to the plant themselves, and then also to our endothelial layers of tissues, especially in the bloodstream. So again, our brain really needs to be nourished with good, healthy, rich, antioxidant rich blood, and berries are going to give us that. And they do have sugar in them, but because they're a whole fruit filled with fiber and vitamins and minerals, the sugar is not all on its own like it would be with juice, and so it's a slower intake in the body, and they are considered lower glycemic. Although these I just picked and they basically fell off into my hand from the plant. So I know they're very rich in vitamin C because of that, because they're so fresh. They're also pretty darn sweet. So these might be a little higher glycemic, but still it's a fruit, and we shouldn't fear fruits, and we shouldn't fear even the sugars, the natural sugars. It's just a matter of, again, how much we're eating of them. So a couple servings of fruit, especially berries a day, is a great brain food. So these fruits with their fiber support the microbiome. There's tons of vitamins and minerals in these fruits that are going to be very brain supportive. So it's such a wonderful thing to be able to eat a bit of fruit rather than eating foods with sugar in them when you have a sweet craving. So go for the fruits, especially in the summertime when they're in season. Visit your farmer's market, see what's in season, and enjoy 1 or 2 servings of fruits per day. Okay, the third superfood belongs in the spice or herb family, and this is rosemary. Delicious. And, even using our nose and smelling things will help to stimulate the brain. And there has been quite a few studies that have shown that the herb of rosemary is actually helps with memory and cognition. And I have to say, just super delicious, and I love the smell of it. Rosemary grows in almost every soil. So if you aren't growing rosemary, it likely will grow where you are, or it's a great one to just grow on your windowsill inside so you can use fresh rosemary herbs. The wonderful thing about herbs and spices is they are actually the second most nutrient dense food on the planet. And if you know what the number one is, post it in the comments. Let's see your knowledge base. And they're super nutrient dense. The thing is with herbs and spices, we don't always use a ton of them, right? It's not like I say, oh my gosh, give me a cup of cumin in my salad, right? That would be overkill. But using some liberally and to taste and to what pleases us, our taste buds, every time we eat is going to give us some really good benefits. And the action of herbs and spices in the body is that it turns on digestion. It gets our digestive juices going. And the more we digest, the more juices we get going, the more we absorb and assimilate the foods that we have in our body, the more our organs and glands and tissues are going to be fed, including our brain. Yay. So definitely, even the next time you see some herbs, it doesn't have to just be rosemary, ginger. Oh my gosh, the ginger flower. Don't even get me started with the smell of that one. But rosemary, ginger, lavender, oregano. Just next time you see them, take a little sprig, put it in your hand, smell it, put it in your pocket, put it in your hair. Just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the smells, because that's going to actually intoxicate your body in a really positive way, get your olfactory moving and noticing smells, which is really supportive to brain health. So how would one go about enjoying these 3 superfoods together? Well, what I've done is I've made myself a cup of rosemary tea. I simply put a little sprig of rosemary in my cup and poured hot water over it to enjoy. The next thing I've done is just put a little handful of walnuts and berries on a plate. Now I can sit down and have 3 superfoods as a nice, nourishing, soulful snack to delight my taste buds, remind me of the season of summertime when these berries are ripe, and enjoy the rosemary from my garden. So I hope this gives you some insight of 3 superfoods that support memory. If you have any questions or you want to add to the conversation any other superfoods that you might enjoy, please do so below. And as always, please subscribe and click the notifications to get notified every time I drop a video. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful superfood day.